Hello, Sean again. Another painting today. This one's in Sorrento in Italy. I'm trying to get the heat and the feel of that. Lots of people, a few cars, buildings, people sitting around in the cafe just chilling out. So enjoy. So here we go. We're going to be using 3 brushes again today. The Artway number 8, the number 5 and the number 2. We're going to get straight into this, but first I'm just going to spray up some of these bits. Going in with a yellow ochre to start with. Gonna get that over here. All the way down. We're going to pop in a touch of blue over this side. Just going to establish some warmth in the painting first. That's the first thing to do. Hopefully you can see that. And bearing in mind, need to be thinking about highlights and things like that later on. Around all of these cars and these awnings. So we'll just be careful around here. People over here, just want to retain some of this. We've got a roadway here, but we've also got a touch of a light on here as well. Coming in here. Pop in some of this kind of purpley grey mixture that we've got going on here. Let that blend and bleed its way down, but we want to keep this light, very light here. And then what I need to get put in quite carefully are the gaps in between. There we go, need to make sure we join these up on this zebra crossing. And that's kind of it. That was the same mixture that I'm putting in there just to mix it up a little bit, cool that down. Now these buildings up here are going to be relatively cooler. Can't afford to pop these in here, even though that's a little bit wet there, just to establish some early colour. And the other thing I need to pop in, a very light cerulean kind of mix. It's not cerulean, it's cobalt. Just to bleed into what we've already got here. Blend in there. And that will do for the first wash. Here we go. Get some clear water. Hopefully you can see the palette okay. We're going to go for some burnt sienna. The bit of the leftovers in here is kind of purple. It's fine, it doesn't hurt. We're just going to plop this in here. Just the tip of the brush. around. Kind of going roughly to the shapes. The bleed in there, I don't mind that at all. Let's pop in some more. To the brush. Always works best on the tip of the brush. Down to this carp. That'll do. A bit more, same mixtures. Let's pop in here and quick down to the awning. Just be careful around there. Warming it up a little bit with the mixture that was already in, just to create a bit of variety in there. You can hear the scratch of the paper, so it's quite dry, this mixture. Quick dry brush strokes there. That'll do it. And then similar kind of treatment on this side. I'm picking up these burnt sienna again, mixtures. Just need to keep this as simple as possible. You can hear the dry brush coming off there. Here. Same again into these leftovers. You can see it's going to change the tone slightly to bring in these. Make a bleed in. Down, careful around the awnings. Slight touch of water. Just like this, do a thing on here. Just need to be careful in the cart. Kind of wrap some of these figures and around that awning. Just need to come in a little bit stronger here. While this is wet, we can work into it. That's on the right hand side of this building. I'm going to touch in some ultramarine as well. Just sort of grade this up a little bit with a touch of neutral tint. I just want this to retain some of these bits in here. Just warm that up a touch. Take this back a bit. And then we'll let the spray do its work and just blend and bleed in now on that tone. Just want to bring in Still got burnt sienna, some burnt umber. Whoops. Accidentally picked up some crimson there. Just going to mix up. You can see what I'm doing there. We've got blues, darks. I just want to make these pop more. And the same around here. It's the same kind of mixtures here. Just want this to bleed in around these figures. Don't want to lose the awnings, which we almost did there. Okay, this is good. Let that bleed around. Weighing that. Let's pop in some other colour there to bleed in. Okay, gonna go. These are blues and neutral tint. Just up on here. Same brush, with the same brush all the way along. All the way along. Go blue. Yup. Go blue. Just echo a touch of that over here, that mixture. Well, this is kind of almost dry. We can pop in some of these suggested windows. Some of these are obviously going to be a lot darker. I just want to bleed in. Just picking out some of these highlight parts. Just move up palette so you can see this. It's just about the right timing on this. So you get some sharp edges and some blending and bleeding. And that's what we're aiming for. Same mixtures, I'm just kind of swiping across there. It's the same three cool colours. We'll put some more detail in some of these in a little while. I'll pop out some of this. I don't like to paint so much there. It's about right, it's a little bit dark. Cool. Okay, I'm going to change brushes now. Go to this number 5, number 2 rather. That was a number 5. Picking up some of these mixtures, the sienna, burnt sienna that is, and umber and a touch of blue. This is just really not dark enough. Tone of this tower. There we go. That's a bit better. Pungent roof. It's better. A bit darker here, and this mix here. I want to keep it all indistinct and sort of blurring in, blending away. We can pop in some of these bits on the roof. There's a few chimneys coming up. This part of the painting's not that crucial. So that we don't want our eye to go there too much. We'll take out some of these. Let's just get rid of that. There we go, pop that in there. Nice. This is all wet and doing this thing, bleeding out, which is what we want. While that's doing that, let's just pop in this next part. So the next part, we're going to use number 2, mop brush. Synthetic ones from Artway. And we've got cobalt blue, we've got ultramarine blue here. Just gonna pop in this kind of grey mixture in the background here. Doesn't matter if it blends and bleeds down. This is just be careful on these figures. That's just an indistinct. I'll pop a bit of blue in. Background really. And we use the same sort of mixtures for some of these. Couple of little roof details in here. Just want to cool this passage down along here. Keep this very simple. These are balconies up here, but I'm just going to keep this really simple. There's no need to go to. This is just all going to be very blurry. I had the lost and found edges on all of this. Now then, the big strong notes. This brush, we're just going to get in some bits here. Got people out in the cafes in here. We'll design them in. And the same over here with the car. Just going around these awnings. I'm just getting some sharper edges. These heads here, just around the car and the awning. Just joining these bits up. I want these to be lost here. A little bit too strong. Right, we're going to pop in some burnt umber. Just a dry brush in here. Just guiding the eye in. The road, not too much. Good enough for here to be bleeding in. We've got this same mixture. Just build a few things up. Still very damp, this one. Pop in a few windows. Now that we're going to work on figures in here next. I'm going to go with a much smaller brush. This is a number 2 Artway Sienna Umber. So it's important to retain the light in here. Pop in these bollards, very typical Spain. So get a few bits in here. Current shadow, a few legs. car there. Tyres in there. Now the design, we've got lights and darks going on, so we need to think about that in terms of what cars we're gonna have. I don't really want the eye to go over here, so we'll dull this one down a touch. We'll probably leave the windscreen. This one will probably keep quite light, but we'll go with the blue. Keep the windscreen again. Pop these in. We might not see these little windshields at the side. The most important part of this is the shadow. Lost and found there. Burnt nothing. Oh, it was burnt umber. Let's just pulling some of these figures in now. They should just emerge out of the painting. These guys. Strikes me as quite miraculous the way they just seem to appear. Just coming out here. This is the main figure here, and this is the kind of focal area, so we need to think about that bit. I really want the eye to pop in here, so this is a very dry brush. For this figure. Became a bit bigger than they were, but that's okay. Pop the head in. Pop some heads in here. And in here. There's a guy over here with a cycle. Pop those cycles in here. Say guys, it could be men or women. Then we're going to put in some shadows in here in a second. I'm now going to pop in some of this red. For these lights, back of the lights. That'll bleed away in there. Sign that in a bit. Pop it back in. Carry in the bag. My legs are coming down further. figure's quite big, but the heads are all in line then, and we do need to create some perspective going on in here. I don't think it's too big for the painting. This is bleeding in nicely here, as I like. This is all bleeding well. This could just be sorted out touch. Dry brush would be nice on here. Getting there. Getting close to shadow colours coming up soon, guys. Now the shadows on these figures. So here we go for the shadows. I've mixed up some ultramarine and crimson. I've explained all of that. And now we've got to think about where this is gonna go. And all of this here, the majority of this is in shadow. So we need to pop this in quite quickly. Need to add some water in there as well. Parts of this as well. Coming all the way down. Touch more water. Need to go carefully around here. Not hang around, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of details. And then I've got this tower here, which kind of comes down, so I want to kind of design that around, and the same as this. So we can just take out some of that. It's all nicely blurred here. This is what we want. We don't particularly want sharp edges here either. We can have sharp edges here and there. I've got that distance as well. Getting a bit of a pool of pigment there. But that'll probably do that. We'll just let that do its own thing. We're going to put in some more water. The shadows, that's all in shadow. Shadow's going to be coming across this way, so you can see. Figures are always tricky with shadows, guys. They really are. They just have to be done quickly. Quickly, no messing about. Don't get a second run on them. Once you've done them, go for a finer brush, obviously. Just getting smaller. The longer the shadows, the later in the day it is. Mix these up a little bit. So we can go back into these if you're careful. So they're all coming off there quite nicely. What shadows tend to do, it's getting a bit pernickety, but as they come, you will get mixtures of some sharp edged shadows and others, depending upon the light, that are blurred off. That's quite nice to have lost and found edges. this is very clean here. It's bothering me a bit. That's a strange thing to say, I know. So let's just pop in a few like tyre marks or something. It's just bugging me. It's just too clean, and obviously it's quite white here, so the eyes coming in here. We'll have a big shadow across the bottom as well to sort that out. Couple of shadows there. That's okay. We're going to leave that as a point. Now over on this side, I have a few shadows just under the kind of like eaves and things, but there's a whole bunch down this side of this building. Just go carefully around these figures here with the bicycles. And a few of those. A few in there. This building's got a big shadow, car shadow from the buildings. Soften off that edge. Just doesn't seem to work, so we're just going to soften that down. It's easy to kind of fiddle and go overboard on all this stuff, so we need to kind of err on the side of caution, as they say. Dry brush in here, just catch some of these drier patches. Like a mixture of dry and wet going into each other. Okay, do it kind of warm up here. Put the head in, I need to re-establish that head there. We'll pop in some highlights as well. Big shadow I talked about. Now be brave and pop that in. Back into the ultramarine, back into the crimson. Touch of burnt sienna. There's going to be a big shadow, guys. Just grab some more liquid. I'm going to come in here. Now what I'm going to do first is at the end, because I want this to bleed off here, this is going to be a big shadow coming in. Big building shadow. Some of it's blurring, you can see there. That's what we needed. Now then, what I also need is to strengthen up some of these shadows here. So hopefully you can see that I'm just tip of the brush, popping pigment back in to strengthen up the foreground shadow. In terms of its pigment, and then I'm going to warm it up a touch. This is good not to have the shadows all the same colours and hues. Just going to warm up with burnt sienna. Just let that bleed in. And further back, Another little tip, just be careful with this one, just cooler colour there, it'll blend in. That was, it's the same mixtures, that was the ultramarine. Ultramarine granulates beautifully, as we know. I'm just strengthening up some of these shadows. Creates more drama. There we go. Same as the ones here, these beautiful. So we want the eye to go here, hopefully it's going to go there. Soften off a couple of those edges on the awning. And I think we can call that done. I really do. Yeah, that's better. Softens that down a touch. So a couple of finishing touches I want to do. This has been bothering me. Here. Just want to darken these up. They're just bugging me. Just need to darken that up a bit. That's better. There's quite a lot of light space there, and because of the strength of the shadows, it's kind of definitely got, it's grey here, definitely got lost. So that's working out better. If I've done it once, I've done it 100 times, right? It is so odd. You go back into the paint and you're like, oh, I missed this, I missed that. And of course, we didn't really mention the trees that were on this left-hand side, just coming in. And this is quite a nice little foil to bring in. Foil meaning it's gonna help the eye come over. Into the painting. Kind of aim it down towards let's just get some drier. Brushes in here. Thinner stuff. And of course we've got the lights here as well. Seem to have lost. There's one there. I think there was one just here. One up here. So we're going to need the white out again to finish that off. That of course was not dry and blended and bleeded into there, so I'll just get rid of that one and wait for it to dry properly, although it seems to have sorted it out. to the white. Yeah, I love it. Oh, but this makes a difference. This makes a difference when we've got these types of features in. Trying to get more paint up on that. There is several ways of doing this, to be honest, that I may have shown you before. You can just put moisture in and then just rub out like that. Look. Works quite well. It comes across a bit more natural, I guess. This brush is way too dry, too wet. Okay. Stop fiddling. And of course, this tree has a little bit of foliage on it, and we'll just indicate some of that. Not much. Go into the blue, just to get some of these darker patches in. Up to it. That will indeed do it.